Coming to you from the Loading Ready Run orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast. Getting jiggy with it?
Yeah. Are we not broadcasting?
Are we doing Will Smith? What? Oh, no, it's broadcasting. The broadcasting is for Tap Tap.
Oh.
And then coming to you from, I don't know why. I just did that the first couple times, and I'm like, I guess that's what I do now.
All right.
I don't know.
And so it has been written in stone.
What about if we change that for 2015? We
I've
make a
also messed it
resolution
up.
to change it.
I've also messed it up a couple
What
times.
if it was getting jiggy with it from the orbiting underground moon base?
Sounds great.
But then if then that gives an expectation that we're going to be jiggy with it during the podcast.
I feel
Also,
that-
we're fast going to run out of Will Smith references.
I feel that each podcast should be a high energy thing, and if we're not prepared to get jiggy with it, what kind of product are we delivering?
One from post 1995.
Shush.
A non-jiggy product.
We have the 411.
Jig-free product.
Welcome to the LRRcast, where we have the 411 on what's jiggy.
Yep.
Welcome to the LRRcast. Let's only make old music references.
When did that become? I don't know. I get jiggy as in like a jig, like as.
That's just the magic that is Will Smith.
Like, why is that cool? Jigs are not cool. That's like an old timey dancing.
That's a really good question.
Will Smith can make anything cool.
Has anyone ever questioned this before? Yeah, Will Smith don't got to cuss in his raps to sell records.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really gone deep on the etymology of being jiggy or what.
Anyway.
What's the it? It's an undefined.
Maybe it is yourself. Maybe being jiggy is just being understanding and cognizant of your true self,
Yeah,
and
you're
therefore
right.
the joy that you discover from doing that.
Yeah, you're right. Nothing about this adds up.
You just find the jigginess within.
This sounds like a Jaden Smith tweet now.
I'm Googling.
Getting jiggy with.
Anyway,
While Graham Googles.
I'm Googling the etymology of jiggy, and it does indeed look like it's just pertaining to a jig. Yes, of or pertaining to a jig. Being crazy, as in he's gone completely jiggy.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Oh, here we go. Slang from a 1989 book, I believe.
Whoa.
If I was too jiggy to hold the syringe, he'd shoot me up. It's Radford and Crowley, drug agent.
already.
I don't think that's where Will Smith got that from.
No. No, it looks like you can definitely blame Will Smith for propagating jiggy in that usage.
Noted tastemaker Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Well, all right.
apropos of the current date, this week we want to talk about New Year's.
And the resolutions thereof.
Therein,
but
yeah.
not that we've made them. Because actually, I have not. Have any of you actually made New Year's resolutions?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cam.
Well, I make the same resolution I make every year, which isn't really that useful, but I like to keep it in mind.
What's your resolution?
Oh, well, it's kind of self-aggrandizing, but my resolution every year for the last few years has been that because I'm around, the world will be a slightly better place than it was the year before.
I like that.
Yeah, try to leave the year slightly better than it was before.
Yeah.
The sort of wilderness methodology.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm going to be around, it might as well be better for it.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I stopped making New Year's resolutions several years ago. Probably longer than that. Like, I did it when I was younger just because it was a thing that you do, because you make New Year's resolutions, because it's New Year's and you resolve to do the thing. But then I was like, why now? You know, it's like, I'm going to eat like garbage
Arbitrary calendar
in
dates.
December, but then on the 1st, then I will have the fruit.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's a coincidence, or it's a poor coincidence that the New Year's happens right after like the time of greatest excess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's good though, because I don't know about you guys. Like, a lot of people resolve to eat healthier and stuff like that. And we're at our New Year's party, and I was just like, I don't want any of this junk food. And somebody said, "This is your last chance," And I'm like, no, I don't need a day to stop eating junk food. Also, I have eaten so much crap already this month. I am literally already sick of crap. I don't need to wait till tomorrow. I can start now.
I'm on the other side of that. It's January 2nd today. You think I'm not going to have chocolate?
There's so much chocolate in our house.
Try and stop me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we have chocolate here. By the way, thank you to Dana and Dan.
Who sent us?
Who
Yes.
sent us chocolate? Those frangos out there. Those
Yes.
Dana makes us the gift
oh.
the gift bags at PAX.
Yeah.
And they sent us some frangos.
Yeah,
Delicious.
Frangos, if you haven't had them, you can get them at Macy's. But the West Coast and East Coast Frangos are different.
Apparently, yeah.
Because
apparently
the West,
there's a fight.
because the West Coast Frangos are made by the Seattle Chocolate Company?
Seattle's Best Chocolates or something?
No, it's Seattle's Best Coffee. I don't remember what the name of it
I
is.
think it's just Seattle Chocolates.
But yeah, and they are amazing. They're like delicious, rich, melty truffles. So if you find yourself in Seattle,
We've had some catty conversations with Macy's employees. We have not been catty with it. We've been very friendly, but they've been like, no. East Coast Frangos, no. And we're like, okay, we've only had the West Coast ones, but I didn't realize there was a fight here. I'm sorry I walked into this.
yeah, but if you find
I didn't realize this was a Biggie and Tupac situation.
Yeah, right?
if you find yourself getting your, I guess the Tupac Frangos,
Right.
they're great, and they go on sale at Christmas and load up because they are delicious.
They're little chocolatey truffle things. Are really,
They're
really
so
tasty.
good. A plus
In a
Thank
variety
you.
of comical flavors.
And they sent us Frango brand double chocolate coffee, which I brought home and I've been having
So is
my French press, and it's good.
the East Coast thing like a completely different
Yeah,
product?
it's made by a different company apparently.
But is it like an actual like is it,
Well, no,
is it
it's
like
still
Smarties
chocolate.
versus
No,
They're still
no.
packaged in the same stuff. They're just made by a different manufacturer.
I
just
'cause
because they don't want to ship it
I
over?
guess.
Well, I mean, chocolate, there's sort of a freshness quotient to it, right? And Macy's sells so many Frangos, it might be the case where you can't get, a company that can supply that much and then their own chocolates at that time of year. So it might be broken up for regional things. And you don't want to make chocolate 7 or 8 months in advance because these are like high-end chocolate and you can't leave good chocolate that long because it's gross by the time you get
Also
it.
because I'll eat it. If you leave chocolate that long,
But like, I mean,
I
in
know
the
what you're
warehouse.
saying. I was making a joke, Kathleen.
Wherever you leave the chocolate, eventually Graham will come and eat it.
I will
Yeah.
find it.
It's a real problem that the chocolate industry is having to deal with.
Yeah. Oh, we've got grams
There's
in the silo.
And they're in the vents.
The chocolate silo.
that's how you keep chocolate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a silo.
So when I think of New Year's resolutions, I always think of my brother has a friend that does kind of an interesting thing for New Year's resolutions where he makes a New Year's resolution every year that's very arbitrary. But he uses it not as a like self-improvement thing. In fact, I think one of the rules he sets for himself is explicitly that it can't be a self-improvement thing, but as a willpower thing. Like he's just like, so if one of them was like not drinking pop for the year.
That's kind of self-improvement.
Well, except it was, but the idea is being very like doesn't matter about other sugary drinks,
Okay.
Right.
but it's being very explicit about being just like no,
Right.
and trying to go through the entire and not as a self-improvement thing, except for in the sense of making willpower improvement.
Right. A discipline thing.
Oh.
Yeah, as a discipline thing and a conversational topic.
That's true.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good conversation starter. I
It's like,
can-
no, I'm not having any pop. I because of all the sugar. And it's like, no.
just
you-
because.
Yeah.
Find me a can of high fructose corn syrup. I will down that.
As long as it's not carbonated.
Yep.
Yeah. I can totally dig that.
It's so thick.
If you can like really like sort of like get
Coastal.
your willpower down and be like, I'm not doing this thing. It doesn't matter what thing you do, or like you force yourself to do something, and then you get into like sort of the self-reinforcing mental habit where you could just do it and resist whatever cravings or urges or impulses to not do the thing if you're trying to do a thing. I call it experiencing the freedom of total control, and it is just like it's so good. Try it.
Yeah. No. And that is kind of the essence of changing your diet. Like when people talk about weight loss, the strategies that don't work are diets.
Mm-hmm.
It's modifying your lifestyle. So that is a function of willpower, but it's also just a matter of experiencing that kind of control over your own life.
Well, it's saying, hey,
or exercising
hey,
it.
screw you, hormones, body, fat, organs. You know who's in charge? The brain. I'm the one pulling the levers, and I'm the one who's going to tell you what we are and aren't going to do. And damn it, you're going to darn well like it because I'm in charge.
Spite also works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some friends of ours.
Oh, hell yes.
A friend of ours, Rodney, who works actually at Wizards on the D&D team, he was in both seasons of Tabletop Deathmatch. And you'll see when the second season launches later in January that between season 1 and season 2, he lost a huge amount of weight.
Oh, yeah.
And he was already partway through that weight loss in the first season. And we were talking to him about that, and he said that what happened is he and his wife basically challenged each other to be like, who could lose the more weight. I can't remember if it was faster or the most or whatever, but they got Fitbits. The way that they did it, which I actually thought was really cool, is that they did 6 days a week, hard adherence to just eating healthy and being active, and then 1 day a week is whatever. Because you can only gain so much weight in a day, and so even if you just had wall to wall jam donuts for an entire day, you wouldn't actually pack on a week's worth of stuff, even if you're having
No, it's not physically possible.
your off day.
Right.
Which reminds me now of one of my favorite pictures ever, which was of when The Rock was having his cheat day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
With
a
a
stack of
pancakes?
like this, the height of a table, and then 8 large pepperoni pizzas and liters of ice cream, and he's just
An acre of lasagna.
yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, they had a weight loss off, and it worked really well for them.
Was there some sort of competitive prize or something that you?
I can't remember. I think it was just that they are very competitive people.
I think the prize is just is feeling good about yourself and knowing that you have made a positive change, not only for your body image, but also for your sort of general cardiovascular health.
I think a friendly weight loss challenge between friends is cool if you're trying to get in shape, because
It depends how competitive you are.
That's what I'm saying. If it's between friends and you know that you're okay with it, then it's cool. And it's if you don't quote win, then worst case scenario, you've lost some weight.
But
No?
at what point do
I
you start
couldn't do that.
sabotaging your friends? You take apart their sandwich and you take out the cheese and you replace it with a slab of butter.
You just saturate their bread in olive oil.
The thing is, there's that way. There's the Cameron school of overcompetitiveness, and there's the Kathleen school of overcompetitiveness, where I get a little crazy about
you go too far
topping
on yourself.
on myself about topping Fitbit, and that is a bad state. That leads to all sorts of problems. Nobody wants some kind of disordered thinking thing. So if you're not the right kind of person to compete with other people, do not do that.
There was a period of time where this was a desert bus, because you guys were in a desert bus daily challenge.
Yeah.
And it was there was you and Heather and I think one other person were standing just off to the side.
Jogging.
Just jogging in place.
and tilting Graham the fuck out.
It was immensely frustrating.
That's why.
Just this constant motion just in my peripheral vision I was just will you please sit down, you children?
That's why after that was over and I saw how angry it made you, I declined to join the rest of the Desert Bus Daily Challenges and did not compete with anybody else, because I knew that if I competed, my only recourse would be to win.
Right.
So they had their competition, and then they crowned the winner, and everybody was like, yay. And at the Desert Bus after party, I'm like, have you seen my Fitbit steps? If I had have competed, I would have crushed all of you. See, because I'm a very, very competitive
You're a horrible person.
I'm horrible. This is why if I go to Lady Planeswalkers, I get drunk, so I don't try to crush people at Magic. Cam's played against me when I've been in full competitive mode. I'm awful. I'm a bitch.
You're why I don't play Commander anymore.
I know, it's the worst. But you should come and play Commander with me now, because now my process is to get drunk.
So New Year's resolution is
To
get
more
drunk while
substance
competing
abuse.
with people more often.
No. My New Year's
Except
resolution.
then you'll get competitive about how drunk you can be, and then that's a terrible
Actually,
idea.
that is one area I know I can't compete in, because really I'm I'm kind of a 2-beer kind of lady. But my actual New Year's resolution is to be more spiteful to people who give me shit.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Be more spiteful.
More
That's-
spiteful.
Yes.
That's
All
a
right.
terrible New Year's resolution.
No, it's great for me. I don't have patience or time for jerks. And there's somebody is like, oh, you shouldn't wear so much black. The next time I see them, I'll be wearing all black. I might even do some extra gothy eye makeup and be like, experience the darkness of my soul. Because I'm an adult and I can do what I want.
Your New Year's resolution is to
Be a jerk? Yes.
is
Be
to
passive
spend
aggressive.
is
Aggressive. Thank you very much.
completely change your
that's
modus
passive aggressive.
operandi in order to try to hurt other people. That's basically what you're trying to do?
Inconvenience other people.
All right. Good job.
Alrighty.
I'm an
then.
adult.
I like the
what you say.
I don't support you in this endeavor.
I like
That's fine. It'll make me happy.
I mean, Penny Arcade today was actually was about exactly that. He was like, I'm going to hit the gym more often. And Gabe was like, well, my New Year's resolution is to stop you getting in shape. It's going to be really hard. But he's like, you're a monster. He's like, would a monster be taking you out to Cold Stone Creamery?
I do it because I care.
Oh, that's good. No, it's just to do things that, like realistically, what it boils down to is to think less about what other people say I should and should not be doing, and to do more things that I enjoy doing and make me happy, despite the judgment of other people.
See, that
that's
sounds
really good.
great.
Yeah.
That sounds really positive.
Yeah, exactly.
But to change what you're doing in order to actively
No,
spite people
what I
is
say
what
is-
you said you were going to do.
Yeah, but if somebody is like disagrees about something I do, I'm just going to do it more in front of them. I'm still going to do things that I like, but I'm just going to make it very obvious that I do this thing because I
that
like
part I don't like as much.
The idea is that you're not changing your behavior at all
Yeah,
because
then
of other
then
people.
they're taking up an inordinate amount of real estate in your head.
Yeah. Anyway,
Kathleen, this isn't
you can have whatever New Year's resolutions you want to have.
even crazy ones. You weird person.
What? I just want realistically being a little kind of a churlish trolly type person actually brings me a joy. So let me do it. And besides, this is like low impact trolling.
It's like an elliptical.
Yeah.
Low-
It's good on the knees. Very good for your knees.
Very good trolling.
Alrighty then.
That's the just because Paul mentioned the gym as well. Like that's always the stereotype thing about New Year's resolutions is like the gym is always ram-packed in January, right?
And then
Yeah.
dead in February.
And it's everyone hates.
some people make it to March.
That's
And
true.
everyone, all the people who are
All the
actually
regulars who actually go to the gym
are
regularly are like,
"God damn it."
oh no, January.
Oh, it's the worst. When I lived in Vancouver, I went to the gym all the time because I had less random work to do, and my schedule was a lot more set because I had a regular job, and so I went to the gym and had friends and regulars there, and January was always awful, interminable.
And all the regulars would be like, oh no.
Well, to the point where the regulars, if people knew that I would come in at about 4:00, and I knew some people would come in about 5, and what they would do is we would sign up our friends who were coming in after work for machines so they would not be screwed, because there was a bunch of people who had never been in before and would sign up for a slot and then waste time for half an hour, and everybody else is just trying to get in there and do their thing and go home, right? So I don't know, if you want a freelance gym person and you're going to a tiny packed gym, maybe go in at 8 p.m, right, when it's empty.
Or earlier in the day.
Well, I mean,
before
some
work.
people have work, right?
No, I mean before work.
No, that before work is when lots of people go to the gym.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The 6 to 8 a.m. hours are not to be effed with.
But then you show up to work and you're all
Yeah, but
No,
a lot of- shower.
What you do is you get up in the morning and you go to the gym.
Oh,
then you
you-
shower there.
Yeah, and then you go to work.
Yeah.
that's good. That's better.
I went to the gym once at 7 a.m. because I had to do something in the evening and I wasn't going to have time. And there was a whole nother crew of regular people. And they're all giving me the stink eye because I was not one of those people who came to the gym. But at the same time, if nobody drops into the gym at 7 a.m. to run for 20 minutes, right? So it's who is this person? It was very interesting. Gyms are great. Go to a community gym. If you have resolved to join a gym for the year, don't go to Gold's or anything where they market to attractive fit people. Find a YMCA or the gym I went to was run by the city of Burnaby. Go to a gym where there's lots of old people and lots of middle-aged people and a few goppy teenagers who are either trying to gain weight or lose weight, and it's great because everybody there is just
They're just there to do the thing.
they're just there to do the thing, and they're generally really friendly. No one is there to hit on you, and there's totally weird people there, but they're all weird in a nice sort of friendly controlled way, right?
When I was
It's
when I was working at a startup in town doing like video content for them. One of the things that they had me do was like go around to a bunch of local businesses and just sort of freelance film like some B-roll of them to get to, like, they got quasi free advertising supposedly, and then we got like footage of local businesses to use as like placeholder stuff in like the video client we were working on. And I went to a gym in town that was one of the gyms that Kathleen was recommending you not go to, and it was actually weird. Like, it's not just that the people who worked there were attractive; they were like unnervingly attractive. Like, all of them were just like uncomfortably good looking.
Yeah, don't go to those gyms.
It was weird.
They're not for us regular folk.
No. It had no bearing on my desire to go there as a gym or not. It was just like, why are you working here? It was.
Shouldn't you be a model?
They probably make a lot of money on the commission.
Probably. It was just. It was unsettling.
It's. I would bet the gym industry, like, it's sort of like, there's the big, Christmas, and like Boxing Day, stuff in the retail industry. Mm-hmm. The gym industry, it's probably like, January 1st, the head of the gym like lines up all his people. It's like, okay, everybody, shit's gonna go down.
Yep.
Right? We're gonna get a bunch of people coming in here, and I want to see everybody signed up for at least a year.
Yeah.
Because
they'll only come here for 2 months.
Yeah, they'll only come here for a month or two.
That's 10 months of profit for us.
It's 10 months of profit. This is where we make our. This is Black January.
Yeah. And then we can spend the rest of the month. We can spend the rest of the year swimming around in the money bin out back.
Yeah.
Which you need a lot of upper body strength to do.
Yeah. It's good. It's good cardio. Swimming in money.
Yeah, find a gym where old people go. That's my recommendation. Old people are interesting. They have interesting life stories to tell you, and they have free time, so they're going to be there at weird hours. You can get to know old people.
Or you can put your headphones in.
I mean, or you can do that. It depends. Like, put your headphones in when you're running, but if you're on the elliptical machine, you may as well like talk to the friendly old lady who's like 60 and has interesting opinions. I met a guy who was like in his 30s, and he seemed totally normal, except he was like on a crusade against cops handing out speeding tickets. He wanted all of the speed, like, I'm serious. He wanted all of like the speed laws in BC repealed, and he spent all his spare time working on it. And when he found out from another guy that I talked to at the gym, he was like a 40-year-old guy, accountant or something like that, but was going in there to lose weight. And when I started losing weight, we sort of started at the same time, so we'd chat a little bit, that I did video stuff. And then he was like, oh, can you tell me how to make videos? I want to make videos to talk about the speeding ticket thing.
Did he talk about quotas?
Yes, so many quota videos.
It's not a thing.
Anyhow, yeah, we were Facebook friends for a while, and I eventually just maybe I just blocked all his posts so I wouldn't ever have to interact with him again. But after, like, I would just get these ridiculous videos about like cop conspiracies. And otherwise, he was a perfectly sane, interesting person. But it's interactions like that give life color.
Maybe
so. Go to the gym in January.
Just to clarify,
I mean,
go to the gym in February.
There's lots of New Year's resolutions that don't have to be gym related. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, just to clarify what I just said briefly, maybe it's different where you are, but in our province, at least, cops do not have quotas for tickets. People like to say that they do because they like to believe that they weren't speeding. They're like, well, I wasn't really speeding, but cops got to fill his quota. And it's like, no, they don't actually have a quota. The police don't get to keep the money. The government sets the tickets, sets what the speeding limits is, sets how much the tickets are going to be. If you're speeding, the cop will write you a ticket, and the government gets the money.
Yeah.
Frankly, there's nothing more terrifying than the idea that cops have to arrest a certain number of people per month or get fired.
There are actual there are some
Commissioned
cities.
police forces sound terrifying.
There are some cities in the States where it actually it's like a municipal thing, and they'll actually say it's like we balanced our budget because of all the speeding tickets or because of all the
all these property seizures.
And so it starts getting. I think the issue you get into is that even if there isn't like a quota or whatever, the incentives are a little wrong for the.
It's like
anyway,
if you put people away for over a century this month. Like combined total, you qualify to enter our draw for a new flat screen TV.
Oh no!
Sweet.
Anyhow,
That sounds awful. Although I do like TVs.
Yeah, I mean, Could use a new Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Grant, does anybody have any non-gym related things?
Well, I don't have any New Year's resolutions. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
well, I
That's
mean-
my whole
Do
thing.
you have any like
So,
things that you are trying to? I mean, obviously, for the whole Loading Ready Run thing, 2015 will be different
Yeah,
than
that's true.
2014. So that's
I
something
mean, I always
that we
have-
have to.
I always
we're
have
gonna be
areas of
adapting.
personal improvement, but that there are things I'm trying to work on constantly that I'm keenly aware that I need to improve. But
well, I mean, like, I've decided to make the same resolution year after year.
Right.
At which point it doesn't really become a New Year's resolution anymore because it's just occurring in perpetuity.
I guess it's more of a life motto.
I suppose. Yeah, actually, I guess.
Do you take some time, around the New Year's to sort of go back and sort of evaluate how you did over the year?
Well, yeah, and I didn't do so well last year, but I'd like to think I didn't make the world a worse place.
I certainly don't think you made it worse.
You told me a very amusing story at Christmas.
Well, then we lolled.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, I mean,
Judging only by
So-
some of the fan feedback we get, I would say that you've contributed to making the world a better place.
oh well,
Or at least some
Awesome.
people happier.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
good.
I think that counts. I think
Yeah.
I think
I
making
mean-
people happy is making the world a better place.
like, and last year, I mean, I was able to complete my honors thesis, which will hopefully be published fairly soon, which means that the universe now knows something that we didn't before
sweet.
because of work I did. So that felt really good.
Nice.
But I mean, like when you talk about New Year's resolutions, the general the way the conversation usually goes is that New Year's resolutions aren't an effective way to make life change.
Right.
But I think there's a reason they persist, and that's because we want to make change. We identify the things that we don't like about ourselves, and New Year's is kind of a
Logical.
well, it's a threshold.
Yeah, it's like
right?
just a logical
it's a
sort of
time
beginning.
renewal.
Yeah.
And so it provides a clean break and a new way of thinking about ourselves, which I think might be a useful a useful tool.
I mean,
in some situations, depending on how you do it. I think one of the successful metrics of a New Year's resolution that is useful is whether it has a fail state, because I think easily achievable fail states are a sign of bad resolutions. Because, like, say you resolve to go to the gym a lot, and by the second week of January, you've decided that you haven't done it enough and that you have failed.
So then it's
Then
like,
the whole thing is off. Then you're
Yeah,
just like,
it's-
well, I failed, so why bother trying?
Time to eat this personal pizza.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'll go around the horn and try it again next year.
Yeah, exactly. I'll eat my way through to the other side. Also, any pizza is a personal size pizza if you try, or if you cry while you eat it. Is the joke I've heard.
I was thinking the other day. This is only like kind of related. I really like how when you look at like the months, like where it's the Gregorian calendar or the Julian calendar.
That's the Julian calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like it was. It was based on seasons and stuff, but largely fabricated. The lengths of the months are not that specific.
Been massaged over the years.
Yeah, and
There's that whole calendar reset that they did in
Right.
what was it, like the early 1900s, late 1800s? But then the Russians pre-revolution weren't down with that at all, so they stayed on the old calendar. So they were like offset by what, like a week or something like that.
That led to like.
and like
There was a European war where the Russians were off by a month, and there was some planning that a bunch of the Allied
Really?
parties did.
Yes.
And because the Russians were off, their allies just got butchered because they didn't show up.
And then the Russians showed up a month later, be
Yeah.
like, "Where's the fight? Where's the war?" I don't.
Yeah.
We're on time.
Like the solstices and equinoxes fall just like on the 21st of the months. It's really weird. But I really like that the year is completely out of our hands. Right? The year is the time it takes the Earth to go around the sun.
Oh, right.
Right? That's what it's that's why it's a year, right? And I really like that. that
Except
it's-
every 4 years.
well,
Yeah.
we're
no, but
we do what we can.
Yeah.
But I like that it's not something that like obviously calling it a year or whatever is that's like it's not like we had no part in the fabrication of this concept. But I really like that it's wholly separate from us.
Right, that a
Yeah.
year is something that that no matter the arbitrary divisions that we put into it, it has an objective. A year is an objective thing.
Yeah.
That has no. A year will come and go whether humans mark it or not.
Yeah.
And regardless of what kind of humans market.
Yes.
And other aliens, and like aliens have years, and their years are different lengths and have different divisions, but they still have the same concept.
Yeah, and I think it's now that we've just determined that like a year is the time it takes. It's all relative to a given celestial body, and it's the time it takes that thing to orbit its whatever it's orbiting. Right.
Right.
So like a year on Mercury takes however many Earth years or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
but of course, the January 1st being when we choose to decide it's a new year
Yeah.
is totally arbitrary.
That's sort of arbitrary.
We could start it whenever. But
And other cultures do start it at different times.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't we start it at like the first, like the solstice of like the spring, right? Or no,
Right.
right.
The summer solstice. Like
Yeah.
why don't we start it on a significant day for the solar
I'm
calendar?
sure there's some
like the
historic
longest day or
reason.
the shortest day.
I mean, obviously the months were originally supposed to be the moon, right? The phase of the moon. But
The moon shifts all the time.
we've kind of drifted from that.
We realized that was an unreliable system.
But
That's why the Lunar New Year moves around so much, right?
I didn't realize there was a Lunar New Year.
Well, that's Chinese New Year.
Chinese
Oh,
New
is
Year's
it?
a lunar, but that's why it can fall. So it falls somewhere between like February and like end of March, I think, depending on how the moon lines up. I don't know. It's not something I celebrate, but it always comes at different times.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I think that's an important conceptual thing, that the new year comes and goes no matter how we decide to celebrate it
Yeah.
or invest it.
Or even observe it.
And I mean, also on that note, I suppose it's worth pointing out that every day could be New Year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shouldn't everybody's personal New Year be their birthday? Because it marks 1 year since you've been on the planet, which is really the only
like that.
applicable date to you, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean,
we should make birthday resolutions.
That's a better plan, honestly.
I like that. Or also stagger the gym memberships.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, there's the thing, like, whenever you see, like, movies or TV shows or with cavemen, it's always like how many winters you've survived, right? Like,
right.
it's how many times you've gone through this difficult part. Obviously, winter is not a huge issue now, at least in most parts of the world. But that's sort of another, you have winter and summer as basically like the two
Right.
big
The
differences.
markers.
Yeah. Just kind of interesting too. But anyway, I like the idea of the birthday resolutions. That's cool.
Yeah, nowadays winter's more of an inconvenience. Actually, we were walking into the office this morning, and Graham and I had to cross the street because somebody had fed the birds, and there's like a bunch of seagulls and crows around there, and we didn't want to get pooped on. And I'm like, oh, thank God for human society and evolution, where our greatest inconvenient problem is not whether we're going to get eaten by a mammoth or die of disease, but it's whether a bird's going to shit on us. Yeah.
I was and for those watching the video, if you're wondering why I was looking at my phone, I was trying to figure out why January 1st, right, for New Year's, and it's largely just sort of slowly evolved that way.
It's a boring historical thing.
Yeah, it's January is the month of Janus, and they decided.
I was actually going to ask if that was, who it was named after.
They decided to deify Janus on the first of the month of his name, and then it just sort of was like, well, I guess we'll start the calendar there because Janus is the big guy.
Well,
so
he's the god of portals.
Yeah.
Right, and hallways.
So
Because Janus looks both forward and backwards because
It's the two-faced.
the two-faced.
it's also the it's also the 8th day of Christ's life, because having been born on Christmas,
Right.
Right,
which
yes.
is also called, rather stomach-turningly, the Feast of Circumcision.
Lots of calamari.
So, God damn it. Jesus.
Who wants to celebrate?
Jesus, indeed.
Yeah.
Who wants to mark that day?
Anyway,
Oh man, we just had something important chopped off. Let's eat. Nam nam nam. Anybody else hungry after seeing that? I know I am.
No. So, yeah.
Who wants a donut?
That's
Who wants a distraction?
that's New Year's for us, I guess. That was fun.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I like this sort of this kind of
Free form discussion.
freeform discussion cast. I think it's good. So yeah, that was what we think of New Year's resolutions, whether they be ours or what we just think of the idea.
So,
Are you making resolutions? Let us know. Why not?
and in conclusion, get jiggy with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, as the great patron saint of New Year's, Will Smith once said.
Well, I believe Jiggy is also related to Janice in some way.
Yeah. Jiggy. Maybe that's why it became so popular, because somewhere deep in our collective's unconscious, we realized that we wanted to get jiggy with it to celebrate the new year beginning. So this January, as you're on the treadmill, think, na. Yes, indeed. I will get jiggy with it.
And so say we all.